Welcome to the Hex Late Show. It's day 43 OG here on a Tuesday night in Melbourne, as per usual. Big shout out to everyone in the chat. We've got lots of regulars there. I can see T-Bird, Dawsy78. We've got Mayo, Hex Machine, JFK666, Dingo Wolf, Hex in Excess, Bob Lagai, Hexy Quinn, and lots of other people. Shaggy Doo. So yeah, what's been going on, guys? We are having quite a dip at the moment, aren't we? I'm not sure what we're at the moment, but last time I checked, we were hovering around the low 8 cent mark. And yeah, so this feels like somewhat familiar to me and a lot of the guys who have been in Hex for a long time. This is like a familiar feeling. It's we've been in these situations before, and it's just, this is what happens in crypto. I mean, back in the day, back in 2017, 2018, I was one of the guys who bought that $20,000 top in Bitcoin and just bought it all the way down to $3,000. And it did not feel great at the time when I did that. But I'm extremely, extremely thankful that I did not rage quit. Extremely thankful. And it was basically DCA, it was a DCA for me all the way down to the bottom. And then, I was lucky enough to stick at it through the bear market and DCA all the way through the bear market. And, it put me in a good position for when, when Hex launched. And, I think everyone that's having a tough time of it right now, my heart goes out to you 100%. I know what you're going through. Look, this is crypto. This is what crypto does. Crypto drops by 85 to 95% on the regular. This is what it does. But without further ado, I'm going to bring up a couple of chaps. We've got Jexa.
Hey, how you going, mate?
I'm good, thanks, mate. How are you?
Yeah, going really well. We forgot to call out one of my favorite names in chat. Where is it? I stubbed my crypto. I love that one.
Yeah, I like that one too. I've got Blue Bum here as well. How you going, Blue Bum?
Hey, Bluey, how are you?
You might have to turn up your volume, Bluey. Your volume seems a bit low.
How does that sound?
That's perfect.
Sound better?
That's perfect.
Awesome.
And guys, usually I've got someone else ready to come on, and usually this gentleman is he's in the chat. He's never been on screen with us before. So, without further ado, Par Excellence.
G'day,
How are
guys.
you, sir?
Buddy?
Yeah, pretty good, thanks. Thanks for having me
man
on.
of many names.
For sure. Can you hear me okay?
Yes,
You sound great.
Okay, awesome.
Do we call you Par or?
Just call me Dozza. Yeah, Dozza's
Dozza.
good.
Okay.
Yeah. Typical Aussie name. You just stick an A at the end of it.
So before we do any, I just want to ask you, because originally the confusion with your name was because you had a name that was like, and I'm going to try and pronounce this correctly. It's Ingve Wild.
Ingve Wild.
If I understand correctly, Ingve was or Yingve Malmsteen.
That's the guy.
Is like a guitarist. From the 80s and 90s, like this neoclassical guitarist.
Guitarist, yeah.
And then Wild comes from Zachary Phillip, Zach Wild,
Yeah.
who's the lead guitarist for Ozzy Osbourne and the founder and lead guitarist of Black Label Society.
Yeah.
So leads me to believe you could be a guitarist.
I am a guitarist. Yeah. I'm a sort of heavy metal fan and just a fan of pretty much any music really. So, but I do play guitar and a little bit of piano. I've been playing guitar for a long time. Yeah.
Nice. And you're a bit of an MMA guy, right?
Oh yeah. I do like martial arts and stuff like that. Just a couple of times a week.
Yeah. Not like it's not really compatible like being like a guitarist with like doing.
Yeah, I got to be careful of my fingers, but so far so good. I've been doing it for about 8 to 10 years, and I haven't had a serious injury.
What style of martial arts?
It's Krav Maga and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and kickboxing, Muay Thai, that sort of stuff.
Cool.
So I have had my nose broken, but I've never hurt my fingers.
I've done a bit of Krav Maga a while back.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. Yeah, it's
that's not on the receiving end of it, I guess.
Yeah. It was one of the I've done a lot of judo and stuff, but that's always one-on-one. But Krav Maga was like they'd set 5 guys on you.
Yeah,
and you got to try and hammer off 5
messier.
guys. It's awesome.
I love judo and jiu-jitsu and BJJ. All that stuff is very technical, but sometimes you got to do whatever works, So.
Yep.
Yeah, no, Krav Maga is good for the fitness, and hey, it was just something a bit different, like taking guns off people and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a bit of knife.
You're probably never going to need that, but
yeah, we mainly do knife defense stuff, which I hope I never need because I quite often get stabbed in the process of they're obviously rubber knives and wooden knives and things. But you think you're like a hero, and then you sort of hang on a tick. So
and one of the most important pieces of equipment in Krav Maga happens to be the box.
Oh, okay, the box. I don't wear a box.
You got to wear your box.
Nah, I don't wear a box. I wear a mouth guard, but that's about it.
You get kicked in the family jewels quite often.
Not yet. Hopefully you haven't jinxed me. Next week I'll just get straight in the nuts.
Very good.
Hey, I'll bring up Sammy.
Awesome.
What's going on, Sammy? And I've got Unwrecked in the back as well. What's going on, Unwrecked?
G'day.
Here you go, there, you horn smugglers.
Hey, how you guys?
Hey, nice to see you. Hey, welcome to the show, Pa. Excellent.
Oh, thanks so much, Sammy. Good to see you. Nice to meet you. For the first time. But always watch you guys' streams, and you guys have taught me so much. So I got to say thank you first of all for you guys for putting in the hard yards and streaming, every week. And you've taught me a lot for sure.
Yeah, it's awesome that you come on the show. Like you and your wife.
Yeah, the wife also has just started streaming as well. Class. Yeah, she's done well. She got Hodprul on and Crypto Kool-Aid. So they're really nice. And she's done a couple of others as well. So yeah, exciting.
Awesome.
It's good stuff. I love seeing new people go out and stream. Because as everyone out there can tell, we're not professionals. The only reason we do this is because
there, 43.
I'll speak for myself. Unwrecked is a professional of another kind, but yeah, look, we just come on. We come on because we're passionate about. Well, me personally, I'm very passionate about Hex. Unwrecked and I came up with the idea for the Hex Late Show because we wanted to have a chat about Hex every single week and wanted to give people an opportunity to jump in, learn something about it, ask questions if they wanted to. Sometimes we stray off topic, maybe more than sometimes we stray off topic, but we can always be brought back to the topic, which is the Hex contract at any time. If you guys have questions that you want answered, if you have, if you want to discuss anything at all, please feel free, put the questions in the chat and we'll do our best to address them.
Dozer, you're getting some pretty good feedback on your streams you've been doing with Tangent.
Tangent? Oh yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah. And what people probably don't know about you, you're a pretty smart fella as well, aren't you?
That's debatable, but I've got some academic background
Creds.
where I've got a physics and a pure mathematics degree. But yeah, I've basically been working in electronics for about 18 years. That's showing my age a little bit.
Yep. I think you're in good company here. We're not going to hold that against you.
Look young to me, mate. Look very young to me.
Oh, it's because I don't go
Somebody's had his
outside.
nose broken, and
Yeah, it's a little crooked.
So pretty good with the old math side of things, I would imagine. So you've been having a bit of a look at ratios in AMM pools and
Yeah.
things like that.
I guess with the ratio trading stuff, I just sort of did it more as a thought experiment because I just wanted to sort of see, if you were going to trade with some small percentage of your bag or whatever. I mean, initially I thought maybe like 20% of my bag or something like that, I might want to be putting in some more high risk plays. And then also like I went into the PLS SAC, but not as heavy as I went into PLSX. So I'm one of those people that wants to try and swap some PLSX for PLS if the opportunity presents. And I've always kind of thought about the possibility of swapping some PHEX for PLS as well, or Hex on PulseChain for PLS. So I sort of thought, oh, look, I'll just run the numbers and have a bit of a look. And it kind of deterred me a little bit, actually, doing those numbers, because one of the things I found was that if you make a few assumptions on like parity between Hex on both chains, and then you make an assumption on how many X's you think PLS has done already. So that's like, coming out of the gate, then you can come up with a ratio and you sort of think what might be a good number. But then if Hex on Pulse is not at parity, then, your assumptions, you could be out by like an order of magnitude,
So then you're trying to do assumptions on the fly, trying to do calculations on the fly.
Yeah, so it's certainly a bit dangerous, I think. Once maybe we've got the bridges and we've got some price to sort of look at, it might be a bit safer. But
yeah, it's really timely you come on tonight because actually was going to have a chat about. I think he's going by graphics.
Yeah, cryptographics. Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, so he's the one person that I've seen determine a pulse price in the way I think it's likely to get determined, whereas a lot of other people have tried to come up with the price of what pulse will be, and they're making an assumption where they're going to take, okay, we've got the price of Ethereum. We know the ratio that Ethereum and Pulse are at. How much of the value of Ethereum do you think we're going to bring across to the network? And then assuming that that's going to dictate the price of Pulse, and then working that backwards to what a price of Hex might be.
He did.
Yeah, but he's done it the other way, which I think is probably more likely to happen, and that is use Hex as the base price for what Pulse will be.
Right.
So you take the price. We know the price of Hex and what it's trading at, and we know in the liquidity pools how that's paired up with ETH. So therefore, we know when it comes over the ratio of how much Pulse would match the price of Hex.
Yeah.
And then that sets the price of Pulse. So he's done it in what I think is probably the more logical way, just because I think Hex is going to be the primary asset that has its value brought over first on PulseChain. So it was interesting to see how he had done that, and when he had actually worked out all his numbers. This was when Hex was at, I think, 10 cents the other day. And the price of Hex in this theory has an impact on the price of Pulse.
Okay.
So at that point in time, the price of Hex was 10 cents. And when you work back the ratios, it gave a launch price of Pulse of about 0.0017, which is about a 17x from the average SAC price. So that's going to be something interesting to keep an eye on and see whether, obviously, the price of Hex, that's a bit of a volatile thing now. We're watching that move around a fair bit. But if that is the thing that sets the price of Pulse, it's going to be an interesting experiment to watch play out.
Yeah, it's sort of fascinating to see like the different ways you can approach it. And like, because if you sort of just assuming that's sort of 10,000 coins per dollar sort of thing, then like with no multipliers, then you're talking like 0.0001. But then people are just sort of going, okay, well, I think it's done a 20x already, and I think it's done a 17x. But that's just speculation, isn't it? I mean, that's just
for sure.
pulling numbers out of a hat. Whereas at least the way Cryptographics did it, I thought he was looking at like liquidity pools on V2, like Uniswap V2, and he was sort of trying to see how much would be left in those pools after the AMM Fixerbot harvested all that liquidity, and then things like that. What's up, Tangent? What's up?
That's what hey, buddy. Yeah, that's what I really liked about his approach is he put a lot of maths. Like there was a lot of thought that went into how all the ratios are going to work and how that translates across. And that's awesome for the very first trade. Then all that goes out the window. We don't know what the hell it's going to do from that.
It all goes out the window. We don't know what's going to happen. Come on.
Exactly.
It's going to be
what we do know.
Fireworks.
Yeah, you can have all these theories and
it's
formulas.
Fun to speculate. Hey, it's fun to speculate.
Yeah.
That's it. It's good to have some idea and to at least run that thought experiment of, okay, this is just going on the maths. This is what could possibly happen. But markets are pretty irrational. So,
but it's crypto. It could literally do anything and the opposite as well.
What's the rub? What's the rub this week?
Saying in the fight game is everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face. So
that's it.
That's a Tyson thing.
We're all going to get punched in the face like on that when like in 2 days we're not going to know what, because everyone's going to have all these counter plays that they're doing. And I want to shout out to Crypto Sinclair. I've been waiting for a little while to do this because the guys were talking about some interesting stuff. $9.99. Thank you very much for that super chat. It's very much appreciated. We don't do it for the money, but thank you.
At the Discourse Syndicate network, which we stream on, they graciously have us each week. Shout out to the Discourse Syndicate network, RG3 and KNTX and Wales Only, and everyone in the over there on the Discourse Syndicate network. Make sure you tune in and watch all the other streams. There's been non-stop content relating to Hex and PulseChain and everything. It's been a big week. So what's the rub? Ladies and gentlemen,
I saw a tweet from you, Unrec. What was this tweet that you put out?
Don't go there. Don't go there. I want to ask,
Twitter is
who's done the chain? I want to know the chain analysis. Sentiment on Twitter.
Forum.
That's to try and
Twitter is a public forum, Unrect. You put a tweet out there.
Engaging sentiment. Yeah, I don't tweet very often, but when I do, I always fuck something up. So there you go.
What can we just cover this for a second, because this is something that I want to ask you about. You put a tweet out there about
the one I retweeted was from Hexonaut relating to some of the big sales. Is that relating to some of the big sales this week that we've seen in the last couple of days? Hex sales. I'm not sure the numbers, but obviously the price has gone down, so someone's been pressing the red button.
Mm-hmm. I think they said that was
the other one about Tangent versus Richard Hart.
Yeah,
that one.
Yeah, that was the one that
that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. That's the one that got a bit spicy. So what was going through your mind, mate? Like,
What? What do you mean? I can't remember what I even
sounded legit to me.
Yeah, where is it? Can we?
I had a crack at Richard Hart for his personalised plates, because when you see the cars around, when I see cars around here, and some of these dudes have got personalised plates, I just think, what a wanker. Like, don't you think that when you see some of these personalised plates? I mean, you can get them. I don't mind. I wouldn't get them myself personally, but horses for courses. Whatever makes you happy.
You wouldn't get an unwrecked like personal license.
I want to trademark that.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Why not?
I mean, you'd get that, wouldn't you?
Did you see?
I think maybe instead of big PP, I'd have massive cock instead.
One of the best reasons to get personalised plates is because. Sorry, Sammy, what's up?
Sorry.
So Dawsey 75
George-
is 78's got personalised plates.
He said
But that's
they
shilling.
don't reckon
And I'm
he's
here to
got
shill, so that's good.
And Big
Go
Top
again,
is
Sammy.
copying anyway.
It's probably probably someone already thought of that.
So the thing that I like
Yeah.
about personalized plates is because it lets you choose the colors so that you can better suit it to the car. Whereas your state plates, those colors are set by the government or like the state government. And so you end up with a situation where the plates can look nasty in terms of the colors to the color of the car. So I think that's probably one good reason for getting personalized plates. That's not a wanker reason.
All right, yeah, well, I know, mate. I'm not. Look, I'm just like, what do I know? I'm a simple man, so.
I do agree that his
that's
choice of plate is quite.
I'm not knocking about. I love Richard Hart. Hey, I'm a huge fan of Richard Hart. Don't take it the wrong way. It was game theatre. It was just theatre. It was Twitter theatre. I was just basically trying to put you in the box seat so that you get to him. Because I reckon
Yes, and I
think-
appreciated it. I loved it. I was loving it.
Isn't that
I think Richard-
plate? Isn't that license plate by design meant to get your attention?
Yes.
By
It's supposed to
design.
trigger
Like,
people,
what is
yeah.
the point of having some limp ass, like limp dick
That's right.
fucking license plate? Like,
You know, when
please.
I saw
When I saw that
when I saw that video that he made sitting on top of the car, I just went, Richard Hart has gone next level. And
Good or bad? Good or bad?
Good.
Awesome.
Good.
Absolutely good.
Yeah, good.
Absolutely
Good.
fantastic. He's gone next level.
There's no
He's
such thing as bad
turning
publicity.
himself into a comic book character.
He's definitely on another level, mate. That's
Bro,
right.
And-
who's done that in crypto?
And
Who's done that in crypto?
no one.
He's
one's done it yet in
trailblazing, mate.
crypto.
He's trailblazing.
Yeah.
He's just doing some shit that no one's ever done in crypto before.
He's a
He's fucking
pioneer.
doing
And
it.
you look at all the
People should have done
and
that.
you look at all the
before. With how
really
much money that has been made in crypto, people should have done that before. He's the first guy who's doing it. So
That's right.
he's
Put it on the
trailblazing,
map.
and it's people are noticing, man. People out there.
Yeah,
are
And the
Yeah,
thing
noticing.
is,
because
you
it's
look
like
at
a dot on the arse of
really
finance,
famous
isn't it?
people. You look at really famous people, and they are comic book characters, like Jake Paul people, or like you need people who have that level of iconography, and this is the way that he's leaning into that iconography. I think it's like a spectacular move. I think it's really smart.
I love
So
it.
love it or
and it's
so
obviously
love it or hate
working.
it. Yeah, love it or hate it. He's getting attention, and you just even on Twitter now.
That's right.
The engagement he's getting from
Eyeballs.
other people because of the outrage.
And I saw someone
is
who
real.
looked into his socials. There was a live stream where someone was looking into his socials, and they are all increasing. You can see it. You can see it just ramping up since he started doing this stuff. And
Yeah,
it's
but
Yeah,
guys,
doing
can I
because
just
of that.
throw in?
It's
Can I just
brilliant.
throw in that you've got to look at long term and short term. So some of these things, some of these metrics, it might be great. He's got more followers or whatever, but is it like, what's the long term vision, and is it good for long and short term? Do you get what I'm saying? I'm not commenting whether it is or not. I'm just saying that needs to be considered.
Yeah. So
I think it's brilliant
tangent.
for long term.
Let me explain
totally
something though.
long-term.
How long is the average memory span of someone watching
That's a
what
very
plays
good
out on
point.
media? Or
That's a very good point.
he'll
Zero.
switch it up. Yeah.
You're
He'll
absolutely
switch
right.
it when he needs to, and it'll be a different persona from that point on, and they'll look back on, oh, that was crazy, Richard. And most people probably won't even care because it'll be a whole new audience that comes
You're right.
through.
And do you know what?
You're right.
Hang on. Do you know what is going to blow people's mind away? Is like when they get drawn in to seeing all the flashy cars and all that flashy stuff, right? And then they actually hear him have like an intellectual discussion and just win.
The bait and
You know?
switch.
You know what I mean? Like it's going to
Yeah.
be like, holy shit, this guy's not one dimensional, just has lots of money. Like he's actually a really, really fucking smart dude. And he's done all this shit.
He's a nice guy too. He's really he's got good humility as well, and the level of intelligence is as you all pointing out, is next level, and I think it's a brilliant strategy actually. And
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he had a bit of a chat to those the people who are filming him, and they are looking at what makes something really, really popular, like the Tiger King, for instance. It's when you have this outrageous character that's larger than life, that's very, very intriguing. And this is what Richard is playing up to.
Mm.
Like, it's going to work so well on in mass media, I think.
I did notice
think it's
something
gonna,
interesting that the director of the highest estates pointed out was the first thing that Richard listed when he said, you know, I know where I'm at, I know who's better than me. He pointed immediately to money at the start. And the other guy said, you know, does that really matter that much to you when there's all this like really much more important shit going on in the world, like in terms of ways that you can better humanity, et cetera, et cetera. And you know what I mean? So I think money definitely is on the forefront of his mind. So I thought that was quite interesting that the director sort of.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is?
So
it's
it's more
energy.
getting pussy.
That's what you and me.
It's more than getting just pussy, but everyone else, you know, there are women out there that still like guys with lots of money, with no money. Sorry, but you know,
It's got charisma. Yeah.
No
there's
money.
doubt
there's
about
hope.
it.
There's hope for everyone.
I
There's
like
hope for
that
everyone.
guy.
You know what I'm saying?
There's nothing wrong with fat guys. You shouldn't judge people by their body type.
I'm not. That's what I look at the inner beauty, of course.
So
Absolutely.
I don't think
Let
you
shine.
should fully. I don't think you should
Don't
only
judge
judge
someone
someone
by
by
its
the
cover.
size. And when
Yeah,
I
you
say
don't
judge,
judge a book
I
by
wouldn't
cover,
even use
yeah.
the word judge. But you know, everything. I mean, if we're talking about if you're going to be choosing a partner or something, everything. It's a spectrum. It's not just
Chemistry.
a one-dimensional thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's everything. You know.
So have you guys
I
been
agree.
grilling Dosso with questions yet? Have you guys been smashing Dosso up, picking his brain?
I got a couple of questions thrown at me. Yeah.
We're going softly to begin with. So it's the first stream. We thought we'd ease him into it, and
That's it. Much
That is-
appreciated.
Amazing.
hey, so just on the while we're talking filming and people playing roles, there's Erica Wall is definitely definitely playing a role. Now I don't know whether what sort of agreement there was, or he's obviously going to be a bit of a character in the doco, I would imagine. He's he's sort of the counter character to Richard, from what I can see, is playing out here. Hence, I think
Good choice.
Yeah, no, it is. He's good. Like he's does it with a lot of fun.
He's someone
as well.
willing.
Like
he's someone willing to
he's
be critical of it as well.
Yeah,
on a larger macro level.
Yeah, so he can be critical of it, but he's an awesome troll. I reckon he's a good character to have in it. And someone.
Isn't it interesting though that he offered to buy like people's pulse who were sacrificed for it at 1.5 times whatever they sacrificed it for.
Does that mean that the debate's not going to be on YouTube? It's not going to be live. It's going to be saved for the doco, or it will be both. Because I want to see this shit.
I think it's on tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's both.
Tomorrow.
I mean, they won't show the whole debate on the movie.
Yeah,
They'll
that's
just
right.
grab a couple of parts from it. So it would probably.
But
be
it sounds like they're doing it like a proper recording in a studio, and so there's obviously a reason why they're going to a lot of.
And Eric and Richard face to face in the same room.
It will be. Do you know it will be interesting to see how far along Richard's? Because the last time they spoke, it wasn't really a debate. It was they were just talking at a conference or something. And Richard acknowledged that Eric was like smarter than him at blockchain related things. I'm just wondering, a couple of years have passed, more than 2 years have passed since then. And, you know, in that time, you know, at least for the last year, but you would think that maybe even longer than that, Richard has been, you know, studying like blockchain, basically. Like when you come out with your own blockchain, you're going to be studying blockchain and learning about it nonstop.
PhD.
And I just wonder how, I just wonder how far, like, if he's caught up and maybe in some respects, you know, he can match it with Erica.
Richard's got a blockchain PhD, but it stands for pretty huge dick.
So Eric has moved. He's probably moved away from the development side and the coding side, and is more in the managing a fund sort of thing. So he's probably
quit that as well, didn't he?
What's that?
I think he recently quit that job as well. Like he's basically just out on
running
his own now.
fund.
Well, he's just out on his own.
His
I think
fund
there was
got
some
pretty
mention-
wrecked though as well.
Oh, did it?
Oh, yeah.
maybe
Yeah,
maybe he lost his job.
I hope.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, he said that he had the opportunity to, to get in with Hex. That was that apology thing that they featured on the Hex conference, and he sort of said, he had the opportunity. He met with the founder. He said it was the stupidest thing he'd ever seen, and then it went on to do a 10,000x. So I thought he might have actually been like a bit of a closet Hexican, and he's just
I don't
trolling.
know. Like, I don't know, and that's it. I don't know whether that was trolling as well, though. Like
yeah,
that
it's
video
really
that he
hard
made.
to
It's hard
gauge him.
That's what I'm saying. He is a master troll, so it's very hard to tell what's genuine and what's just having a bit of fun. Like
because
like the Luna thing and all that. Like that's just him trolling.
Yeah, the Luna thing. I mean that was a pretty wrecked call, but Luna greater than Hex, and then it goes to Sub-Zero.
But he warned against Luna.
Yeah,
He's
true.
one of those ones that
to be
warned
fair,
against it.
he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that FUD that he was talking about, PulseChain the other day, interspersed within that FUD, he was even saying that he still thinks that PLS is going to do really well. So he kind of is like a backhand.
He's offering to buy it.
Complain that he's offering to buy it. Yeah. So it's like,
I think it's an acceptable position to say, I actually don't think this coin is worthy, but I also think it's probably going to pump. So it would have been correct to have said that about Dogecoin. It would have been correct to have said that about Shiba. I did say it about those coins. Like you're like, I actually don't think this is and so his opinion of Hex and Pulse and that sort of thing could be in line with that, where he doesn't like believe in it, but he expects it to pump for other various reasons, like Hexagon cult status, like other shit,
And at least he's got the bravery to actually go on screen and debate Richard.
Absolutely.
Like, that does take guts, you know what I mean? Like, good on him for that. And it gives us someone who's a character in the movie. It's like probably what the movie needed.
So I'm just, guys, I'm just going to bring up the Hex price here on the screen.
It's bad, right?
Okay, so this is for all those people who don't know. This is a website called apphex.win/charts. Let me get rid of that. Okay, so where are we? Yeah, T-share rate, 21,866. So 21,866. Can we work out based on that how much a T-share costs at the moment? So it's 21,866, and we're times 0.0775, which is the price I've got on that website at the moment. So a T-share for 1 day costs 1,694. Hang on. So, guys, T-shares, if you staked out for 10 years, right, get the best T-share rate you can get. One T-share is 565.
364.
565 US dollars for one T-share. It's been a long time since a T-share has...
about a year.
Yeah, that's a long time.
I think we maxed it about, I think it was close to $10,000 a T-share, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it got close.
I remember 2,500. Yeah.
So that's
so last week
10,000. That's a so we're basically T-share costing 5%. Oh, hang on, no, that would have been 10,000
for average strategy.
That would have
went
been
up about 9 or 10,000.
I'm just trying to
US.
Yeah, I'm just trying to go back and see. So I've seen just scrolling through Hex Daily Stats, I've seen a $6,000 T-share. Let's go a little bit further back. 8,800.
8893.
Yeah, got up there. Actually, let's fucking sort by this.
This Hex sort of price dip, I mean, it's a great opportunity if you think of it that way, to just accumulate more Hex and just stake it out if you can. And
Yep.
yeah, because I mean,
No,
it's only
Well,
it's
last
only
week,
crashing if you're selling it. That's the way I look at it.
well, think
So
about it, like
9,018.
44 hex per T-share was the payout for the last week, Monday to Sunday. So times that by your number of T-shares, and then whatever the dollar value of hex is, and then smile, because if you're staked and chilled, you can relax. That's the way to do it. That's what hex does. So yeah, that was good.
And I was saying this at the beginning.
It was a
in
good
the
week
intro. In the intro
last week. Yeah.
We got a bit of delay between you and me, Unrack, but at the intro, I was saying, like, you know, that thing of when I got into crypto, I bought Bitcoin all the way down to $3,000, like, and it was, you know, it didn't feel great. It did not feel great at the time, but I'm glad I did not, you know, quit and just, you know, rage quit and sell everything. I'm really glad I didn't.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
How often-
DCA.
And we've been like this before. All Hexicans, anyone that's been around the grounds for any length of time in Hex will know that we've been had to ride through these dips before. It's part of the game.
Yep.
Dips are in the game.
Hey,
That's
so
it.
OG43, how long? How often were you DCAing when Bitcoin was going down to 3,000? Like, were you doing it once a week or once a day, or?
It wasn't like on a regular base. It wasn't. It was just based on the chart. When it dipped down more, it just seemed like more of a bargain to me.
Yeah.
You know, just every time it dipped down, it's just like, oh, this is more of a bargain. Just forgetting it, like totally, like forgetting about all the money I'd put into it, like previously, and how little that was worth comparatively. I was just looking at every time I'd have X amount of dollars, it'd be like, this buys more Bitcoin now. This keeps buying more and more Bitcoin. So I kept feeling like I was getting more and more of a bargain on the way down. And that might be in part to because, like, in my business, I've always had to worry about exchange rates and stuff. So when there's a better exchange rate, or when some of the things that I stock are lower in price, I'll buy more. So I've just got that mentality of just when things are cheaper, I'll buy more. So maybe that was part of the reason, but I don't know. It worked out.
I think it's a psychology thing. Yeah, because if you think that, you know, every time that a market gets absolutely wrecked, a lot of the time it does recover, and sometimes if it's a good enough asset, it will break that all-time high again. So if you're looking at it and saying it's at 8 cents now, you can get twice as much hex now that you can if it was at 16 cents. I mean, if it's going back to all-time high at some point anyway, the price is kind of irrelevant unless you're selling it. It's actually an opportunity if it's dipping. Yeah.
What do we say about that?
So,
what are we seeing on the chart? Retest. Sorry, Jack, to go.
Shit's just getting crushed at the moment.
Yeah. So we've broken that bottom trend line in what you could have argued was a bull flag, but it looks like we've got a little bit more pain to come on that.
The next high time frame support that I've got is at about 6.5 cents. So, and I'm hoping we don't actually go down that low. Jexo, you agree with that?
Yeah, a couple of little stops along the way, but yeah, you're pretty right. Yeah, about 6.5 cents.
Yeah, I looked at that as well on the dailies, and there was good support at 6.5. I thought as well.
Yeah.
So
I'd
look at 6.5 being like your worst case downside.
What's interesting is you would have been more recently. You could have looked across at traditional markets and Bitcoin and ETH and said, okay, well, everything's just getting pulled down, but Hex is it's getting a fair bit of a beating. There's no doubt it's falling down further than the others. So it's not a purely market-wide thing. This is obviously a bit of a Hex thing going on as well.
Yeah, it's the delay of PulseChain, really. I think as soon as that delay was
do you really
confirmed,
think that was? Do you think that was it though?
Yeah, I think that people.
It's such a weird tactic. It's such a weird tactic, though, isn't it? Like, okay, so people thought it's about to have the announcement. I think it's going to pump. I'm going to quickly flip out. So they buy it, then the news is delayed, and so then all of a sudden they're selling it.
Yeah,
like,
because they're
for
traders though. Some of these guys are traders, so they're trying to force the price down, I think, just so they can buy back in cheaper. That's all it is. I mean,
Right.
you could kind of get caught up in it, but some of these guys, I reckon, have got pretty big bags, and they think, well, if I'm going to sort of pump the price into the fork, but if the fork's going to be delayed, a sufficiently, amount of time, there's still time for them to break the support, make it go down lower, and then buy their bags back cheaper. I think there's just a bit of whale games going on, or trading games going on, really.
Yeah, I've got to say, it's been a very weird time on crypto Twitter, with especially what was going on in the Hex community. Who knows if any of that's people have got salty, or who knows? You got price movements on charts, and you've got people's emotions. You got everything. And let's face it.
What I believe, I heard someone say, I won't mention names. I don't want to dox anyone, but someone reckons they're selling a lot of Hex at the moment. One of the big players.
There's a lot of those rumors, though, aren't there?
Does that come from them or someone else?
It comes from just the word on the street.
Word on the street.
You got to be careful of the word on the street.
It's the word on the street from Telegram.
Sammy's got the finger on the pulse for the, because she's does all the moderating and all the Telegram stuff. So
Sammy wanders the wild streets of Hexaco.
What are the whispers you're hearing, Sammy?
I'm telling you guys, I can't drop names. I don't like dropping names, and I'll get expelled from the chat.
Why don't you drop the name in the private chat so that we can?
Yes.
No, don't. I don't want to know. I do not want to know. I prefer to ignore.
Bluey, I really like that idea of that Hexaco is a digital place. Like, it's in the hearts and minds and souls of the Hexicans. We don't actually need a physical island or city or country or nation state, It's like Hexaco already exists.
As long as we don't have to buy digital land, because...
No, none of that shit. None of that shit.
What, a neutral zone? Oh, we don't need it. We're in the best country as it is already.
You got your regular cities, the regular Telegram chats, and then you got your sort of like the behind the shelter sheds Telegram chats.
On the back of the witch's hut, sitting on a witch's hat. Hey, I better not say that.
No, I've got to tip of the hat to Sammy. I think that's a pretty commendable to be able to sort of moderate those chats on Telegram. I don't know how you do it. Like, that's a lot of time, and you have to put up with a lot of like abuse, and it's but no, it's good for the community because people can come in and ask questions, and you're always there helping out. So
I think it was better when it was open. Like, how they've only got PulseChain chat now. And that's like you have to put your hand up, and then it's heavily moderated.
I got banned from that.
Yeah, but everyone gets banned. Everyone gets I don't think it's fair that they do. So I only like to do PulseX, and I do Hex bullshit. I'm moderator in there.
There's a Hex bullshit channel.
Don't you know Hex bullshit? It's just
Are you in the bullshit? Are you a moderator of the bullshit channel? Are you?
Yeah,
that's all.
I'm
gonna get in on that.
Guys, Hedron price is getting absolutely smashed.
Oh, Hedron is sucking
like bad, like below all-time lows, like full.
That's not good. That's not good. If you're a Hedron collider, they wouldn't be happy. But you're 6 zeros.
I think you would be. I think if you're a Hedron person, you're very happy at these low prices. Because this is like fill up your bags time. And actually, there was a really interesting Telegram message from Alex that I actually wanted to read out on stream. Maybe this is a good time to do it.
Yeah, do it because I've got some. You're in the know with Hedron, so I want to ask you a few questions and stuff.
Fuck yeah, do
okay.
it.
He's got his own indicator or something, the blue bum indicator or something over there. Hey, what's all this? Let
me find it. Oh, fuck.
Well, I think once the those HSI stakes, when they start getting liquidated, like when people start taking loans out against them and they go on the market, all of a sudden people are going to want some Hedron to buy them. So that could create a bit of demand. I mean, I want some of those
I know
stakes.
there's a bit of game theory playing out on that, and I want to ask Bluey's opinion of it in a sec once he's had a chance to.
Yeah. Well, let me read out what Alex wrote. Let me see if I can share it on screen. Hang on.
Cheers.
And I didn't realize that the Hedron or the Hedron that is used to purchase those liquidated HSI stakes, that gets burnt every time when they buy it. So that's pretty awesome.
Was that okay to share, mate?
I'm just quickly looking. I think it's fine to share. Yeah, I don't think there's anything doxing me or anything. Yeah.
I mean, no one's going to
Red
read it
Bull
on the
can?
screen. No one's actually.
Yeah, no one's going to. Shall I just read it out?
Go for it.
Oh, you can show it on screen if you. Yeah, no, it's too much. It's too dense to show it on screen, isn't it? Okay, I'll stop. I'll just read it out. So what happened was there was a Twitter space, and there was a few people in it. It was kind of the people outside RH projects. There was Alex from Hedron, Dipcatcher from Maxi, and a guy from Fiat. I think it was Buck, and maybe someone else. And I think
Shout out to Buck.
was Power
Great
City in
room.
there as well.
Love your work.
I can't remember. There were some other people in there as well. So Alex kind of wrote some thoughts on, like, after listening to that. Okay, some thoughts on listening to part of it so far, blah, blah, blah. Hedron, infinite money printer. There are some very important things to consider here. First, day one hexagons were able to mint Hedron backdated for the past 2 years. A very large proportion dumped those tokens, which was expected. This was a bit of a bait move. Those who understood Hedron realized they were minting an amount that could never be replicated again. Those who didn't understand or didn't care to understand dumped immediately. You want those guys out early if they are going to hold the price. They took the bait. Hex inflates at 3.69% per year forever. Hedron's inflation exponentially decreases over time. Hex only cares about the weighting of stakers in its share pool. Hedron is fixed to B shares forever. Right now, getting B shares is easy, but it won't be forever. Consider T shares and how easy they were to get 2 years ago. So is Hedron an infinite money printer? Yes, but there will be a time where stakes print less than 1 Hedron per day served. If the past history of Hex is any indicator, this will be in 2 to 3 years. Look at Bitcoin when you can mine 50 BTC blocks running an EXE on your computer. What happened to the BTC price when you couldn't do that anymore? If that wasn't enough on its own, liquidations burn Hedron according to the value of Hex stakes housed inside, not what was lent out. Whales see the tactic of getting everyone else to burn their bags. The lower the Hedron price goes, the more is burnt in these auctions. So every 7.5 billion burnt is a dolphin out. Every 75 billion burnt is a shark out. Every 750 billion burnt is a whale out. Supply skyrocketed within the first month to 70 trillion, but the supply at the end of the second month was only 76 trillion. You can see the mintability decrease as people run out of Hex days to mint with, and now have to actually wait and serve days. At current rates, after the bonus phase ends, we should be looking at about 1.2 trillion maximum possible inflation per month globally, decreasing every single month as the share price increases. Average trading volume in Hedron per day is about 800 billion. Do the math. So
there's only
3 days.
There's 2 little minor things I disagree with. So one is the whole getting people out, like the staking at the start being I've forgotten what I was going to say. I had one thing that was
inflation. Massive inflation at the start.
One thing that was positive and one thing that was negative was some people might be waiting for their stakes to end to mint their Hedron and sell it.
Yeah.
And also, what was the thing you said at the very start?
Alex has been looking a lot of the numbers. A lot of people were flushed out. A lot of those people, dolphins and sharks, they minted their Hedron and they cashed it out at these incredibly low prices, right? And maybe it was a bit more because it pumped just straight after, but now it's like at pretty much the lowest price that it has been, and we're about to have the auctions start in 3 days. When those auctions happen,
all right.
there's a whole bunch.
We're 2.5 years into Hex, right? But
Yep.
wouldn't those people who dumped, they've got another 2.5 years to wait before they get the same amount of hedron?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So
pretty
all
much.
those big players will need to now wait 2.5 years before they could dump, if they wanted to dump the same amount. So, is that what you mean?
Supposing
Yeah,
they
I
have
just-
stakes in, and
I
they
just
still get
remember-
the
but
stakes.
what's the
no.
really
Yeah,
important thing is that we're in 3 days' time the auctions start, and there are whales who
Okay.
put up hex
But hang-
stakes for auction.
Yeah.
Yo,
But
Bluey.
this is what I don't get, but though, Blue. Why would you put up a hex? Like, I think the one I was looking at, and correct me if I'm wrong, is something like, is it 54 T shares or something? Is one of the larger ones?
Well, you can have a look on the Hedron DApp. You can have a look at the list of what's about to come out. But
Yeah,
one of
so-
them is big
so let's-
like that. Yeah.
Okay, so let's assume it's 54 T shares. Who the hell is putting up that amount of hex just to get it destroyed? Like what? Like you're literally throwing away money to try and reduce the supply on Hedron? Like it's...
Yeah. If you're a big Hedron whale and you've been collecting and accumulating it, and you've been collecting and accumulating at this very, very low price, then you put up a hex stake. Let's say even if you just put up, let's say it's a $500 hex stake, which is about 76. I think the second one is $500 worth of hex, and it was like 76 B shares. They only borrowed 414 million Hedron. So that's only like costs about $2 to pay back. So it's a $500 hex stake max that has a 10x bonus attached to it. That's selling. The first price will be for $2. So there's definitely going to be people bidding for that. Yeah. And you would think that is going to go up and up and up. You'd think that the amount of they'd spend at least 500 worth of Hedron to buy that, because and then as soon as they get it, they've got the 10x bonus. They can print the same amount of Hedron from it as well if they want. So,
Tangent. I want to hear what Tangent had to say. You were going to say an important point, and then you've been waiting for about 5 minutes.
Yeah. So thanks, man. So basically, that comment about OGs at the start, like being able to mint heaps of Hedron, this is a comment that is positive for the Hedron project. Is that like imagine that if you were OG and you had a stake ladder, unless you used good accounting, that Hedron you were never able to get. So I had stakes that would have made mad Hedron that would like it was too late because I had ended the stake before I even knew Hedron was a thing. So like OGs didn't necessarily get you just because you were a whale in Hex didn't necessarily mean you were a whale in Hedron massively unless you had staked really long or had used good accounting or had like restaked shit and not left it liquid, etc. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's also people who are forgetting to mint. And I did it once. Well. And did a stake and I forgot to mint my Hedron before that. There's been quite a few people who've done that.
Wait, do you have to do it before you end the stake?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. If you end the stake, then you can't
based
mint
on T-shares. Based on T-shares.
Bear in mind the deflationary function of the T-share as well.
So lucky you just told me that. Holy shit. You guys just saved me. Massive.
Yeah. I'm just not. I'm still hung up on. I'm still hung up on how much money people would have to flush down the toilet in hex stakes that they're willing to let go for the gamble of making it up on the other side with Hedron.
Think about it like this, Jexa. At some point in the future, the Hedron price per Hedron is going to overtake hex price per hex. It kind of has to.
Hedron price per Hedron.
He just means dollars.
The Hedron USD
price deflationary. Hedron's essentially going to be deflationary.
Hex is exponentially. No. Hex is exponentially inflationary. Hex is always going to go up exponentially, like because it's 3.69% per annum, and that's based on that supply. So it's going to grow exponentially. Now all of that goes to the stakers, absolutely, but it still means that the supply grows exponentially. The Hedron inflation is going to go down in the opposite direction as that hex price goes up. It becomes harder and harder. So there has to be some point where the Hedron price per Hedron is going to.
So Hedron is not ever going to be deflationary.
It's always inflationary, but the inflation is deflationary.
Okay, so it's never actually going to go down. The number of Hedron will never actually go down.
Well, no, it could. If people borrow, then that is burnt, and then that's the supply going down. And that's what one of the reasons that these big whales are starting off these auctions with like small or medium amounts of hex compared to what they have. It's because they see burning like $500 or a few $1,000s worth of hex right now is gonna speed up that low supply of Hedron so much because people are gonna spend an absolute fortune on it.
I do believe there's going to be a tipping point, and I reckon it's like you say, it's going to take a couple of years to play out. But once Hedron starts to increase in value and can hold value because of its relationship to the B shares, there'll be this point where it becomes extremely worthwhile to go borrow your Hedron. At the moment, I don't think it's worthwhile setting up a stake to borrow against it because you're not going to drag out any value of it. You're risking something and not getting any real value out of it. But at some point in time, if like you're saying, it does go sort of deflationary and the price starts to creep up and you get that rollover point at the tipping point, then it'll go ballistic when it does. Because more people want to borrow it, and it'll become it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because then people have to pay back what they borrow with penalty. Yeah. So with the fee essentially. So that's when you'll start to get that cycle kicking. But I think we've got to. But
even just the fact that it's burnt, and even just the fact that anything borrowed is burnt, it's regardless of what interest, because the interest is not much when you borrow. It's really small, especially like. So it's more the fact that supply is getting burnt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've just got to find that. It's the whole chicken and egg thing. Like no one's going to take out.
It's a long-term play.
Until it's
a long-term play. But if you understand like the mechanics of it, I can't see how it doesn't increase in value at some point by an absolute ton. And when it does, then it just keeps going up.
Hey, just to shift gears for a second. Tangent, last night you did a stream and you had Silver the Antidote on your stream, and there were a couple of important points that Silver mentioned from his auditing of the OA in Hex and the sacrifice addresses for Pulse and PulseX. Now, the questions put to him were, has the OA ever sold any Hex? And his answer was, from everything, all the research he's done into the OA address and all its daughter addresses, the OA has never sold a single Hex ever. And you also, I asked about the sacrifice addresses. Sorry, go on.
And he can, I was just going to say exactly that you asked that question of him, that whether he added the SAC addresses and any other
daughter addresses,
fork like paths from those addresses, and he added all those as well. So
so none have ever been sold. So there's a lot of there's a fair bit of FUD that goes on in relation to this, because people see expensive cars, people see watches, and they're like, oh, Richard is selling, he's selling his Hex, he's dumping on your head, he's doing all this, obviously we don't know who the OA is, we don't know who the sacrifice addresses are. Okay, we don't know for sure, right? We don't know who. Dixon
Cider has said that OA definitely sold Hedron, but that's fine.
That's
we're just talking about
Hex. True.
But even
hang on, that's not
liquidity.
So even if it is true, I'm just saying, even if it is true, it doesn't matter whether it's true or not. It's not relevant to what Day 43 is saying. Day 43 is purely saying that the OA has diamond handed all the Hex. It's not a commentary on any other project. I'm not saying we don't care. I'm just saying
that's so important.
Has the OA provided liquiidity for Hex USDC or Hex ETH? If you consider that selling, then that's.
I don't consider providing liquidity selling personally.
Right? Yeah, I sort of see the OA as a bit of an asset. I think a lot of people kind of talk smack about it. But it could be one of those things that helps bond the price of Hex on Ethereum to Hex on PulseChain.
Yeah, that's exactly what its role is. Its role is to nurture Hex and to not have too much volatility.
Yeah, and there's other ways that you can get bonded liquidity between now with PLS and PLSX. I mean, the OA sacrificed for both of those as well. So there's lots of ways.
The thing is, people seem to think that whales can manipulate the price, but I think that it's like highly overstated how much whales can manipulate price. I think they can try, but like there's all sorts of games that get played, and in the end, it's got to do with mass human consensus, and if the price is going up or down. And whales can only kind of like, they can affect the liquidity, so they can affect how quickly people can get in and out of these assets by getting more or less liquidity.
A whale can try and move the price, but they run the risk of a larger whale coming in and doing something that they're not planning on, and then they get priced out, or they lose a bunch of money, or whatever. Like that happens a lot in TradFi, where people make a play and someone comes in and gazumps their play. That's I'm sure shit happens in crypto too.
Yes. Agreed.
I mean, I think RH has kind of shown that he is sort of, in my mind, is the GOAT of crypto, like the greatest of all time. So, you never write off a champion, so it's like you just know that they've, you never write them off. I think if he's come out with pumpermentals for these new tokens, and if people sort of think that it's not going to do well, that they could just get left behind. That's the way I see it.
Mm-hmm.
If you've been talking smack about Hex for 2.5 years or longer, and you see what you've missed out on, how can you help but just be salty, like a salty How could you
especially when you see Richard flashing his cars and his watches and doing all the things that you wish you could be doing, but you don't admit it to yourself, and so you hate yourself.
So they automatically go to he's dumping Hex on your head. But it's like,
haters gonna hate, for sure.
That's it.
And they probably still sack as well.
We can't.
And they're hating harder now. he's 10x their hate.
No one can really point at Richard as
it's rent-free, living rent-free in their heads, right?
But guys, I don't think we can point to Richard as an example of being Hex making people rich, because he's the founder. So like it's almost the opposite. Like as in that would be an example that haters could point to, that being a coin founder makes you rich off everyone else. It's I think the more appropriate examples are all the people that are not Richard that are buying Lambos and golf courses and islands, and like, you get what I'm saying? Obviously the coin founder is going to get rich, like no shit. Like that's so I think when Richard's trying to cut through the noise, or whatever his strategy is with being flashy, I don't think it's meant to be a demonstration of why Hex will get you rich. He's just trying to get attention from the broader non-crypto, like brought from no coiners, get the attention from no coiners, and then pivot them into
the natural question, like the automatic, like it's instinct to say, like, where did they get, like, how did they right? How did they get this money? So when someone says, and then when someone says, he created Hex, and you look in, people start delving in and looking, and then they do see like all these other people, like, with all these other cars and stuff. There's plenty of examples. And us, can I just say, us on stream,
I was gonna say Dixon Sider's comment is bang on.
Who's sorry?
Dixon Sider. Attention is attention is today's currency. Like it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
I mean, the
everything, right?
irony of
You are
complaining
right.
about
You are right. Jexa,
the
Jexa,
irony
actually,
about
sorry, Blue Bum. This is actually really important. What Jex has said, this is what Facebook and Instagram, all those companies, their entire shit of all the data collection that they do on everyone is primarily to be able to monetize people's attention. So that is bang on. That is bang on.
I mean, the irony about people criticizing.
Yeah.
Well, hang on. The irony about people criticize. Okay, go on, Jackson.
No, you go, mate. You go.
Well, just the irony of people criticizing like Richard for spending money is like Vitalik dumped twice at market tops for ETH on his people's heads. Charlie Lee for Litecoin dumped on, and it's kind of like that's the norm. The norm is that these founders dump on people's heads. Like we have no evidence that Richard has.
Yeah, that's really important. That is so important to hammer home. There's no there is zero evidence of any of that.
I think that's why he does it. I think that's why
the evidence is to the contrary. The evidence is that he hasn't. Like, there's actual evidence, provable evidence that he hasn't. So that has to be driven home when people talk this shit, right? Really
and that comes from ignorance as well, because I think like that's the whole point of why he does a lot of this stuff is like saying he doesn't need to cash out all this sacrifice addresses and then run away with all the money, because he was rich before he even started, before Hex even started. He was retired, millionaire when he was before Bitcoin. So like he's got so much money, he doesn't need to like take our little sack, that we did for PLS and PLSX.
Speak to yourself.
He's covered.
Wow. I just wanted to circle back on the attention thing and the marketing side of things. With I don't know if you guys have noticed this. When I'm on Twitter now, I've never once searched for Louis Vuitton. I've never once searched for Bentley or anything like that. Yet in my feed comes up promotions for those brands, and the only thing I can attribute that to is because this is tagged in. Yeah, the algo just picks up that I follow these people. These people take note of this tag on this person's post and this one, and it circles back, and then I get presented with these LV ads and Bentley ads. So you've got to wonder, is the opposite happening to those people that are actually interested in those products? So occasionally they'll, and this is a bit harder because you can't blatantly advertise crypto, but they might see Richard's big PP video pop up on a car or something like that, and it's just enough to pique their interest. So it happens. It happens in reverse as well. So there's a reason behind a lot of all the tagging he does and the mentioning of the brands, and because what it does is gets the algo working.
Yeah, I think he's a genius marketer.
How many people are
Hex on Polygon apparently is 8.2 cents. So a bit of an arb opportunity for someone.
Have you seen everyone's on TikTok? I don't know about you guys, but I know a huge circle of my friends are like addicted to TikTok. Like, speaking of attention, it sells. Hey, Tangent, I also wanted to say, oh my God, your stream last night was epic. And I can't believe how many bots you had in there. Oh my God, it was like a full-time job trying to get those critters out of there.
The bots were insane, but the real engagement was also insane. Like it was.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why. It was one of the most like hectic streams I've ever done.
It was fun. It was fun.
Awesome. You have like almost about 100 people watching that stream. I've never seen that many people on one of your streams.
Yeah.
You know what was interesting?
Bro, you know what? It's when there's a debate. People come out. Like,
people want blood.
200 on the AX late show, mate. Hey.
People want blood, man.
Hey, but you know what was interesting?
Hey guys, sorry, Sammy, go on.
Just Silver the Antidote saying that a lot of people on Twitter are all moon boys and girls in regards to Pulse and PulseX, and I have to agree with him. There is so much on Twitter, And you know what the first year of Hex was like, guys. We were here, we were doing this kind of stuff, and it's not just to get rich quick overnight. And they may be very disappointed, especially launching in a bear market. It's not just going to go, how are you? It's going to be a process, you know?
Yeah, I think everyone's set their expectations at 10,000x, which they probably need to dial back about 10,000x.
Hey guys, if you guys are watching, we're on 190 people watching. I'd love to get over 200.
We were up to 200 before.
I'd love to get over 200. Yep. If you guys can tweet it out or just share it on social media, and let's get a few more people into this chat so that we can break some records here tonight, and you guys can be a part of it.
Yo,
and Edu, I just want to answer.
Love everyone in the chat. We appreciate all of you viewers.
Can I just answer Edgy's comment there? Like, you can directly message Richard, and with over 10K subs, you've got a good chance of getting an interview with him. And you know, like, or if you don't get success with him, you should come on our show and tell us about, you know, Hex in India. That'd be awesome.
There was someone else in India that was trying to invite him to one of like their world's biggest like a fashion show or something. Did someone see that one? Oh, we've just lost everyone, haven't we?
Whoa.
Yeah. What are you doing, Unwrecked? You're kicking everyone off.
What are you doing, Unwrecked?
How you going there? How you going there, mate? I just wanted to talk to you for a second because I can't get a word in. How are you, mate?
Okay, I'm good. I'm good.
That's good.
What's going on? What's going on, mate? What's happening? How are you?
Living the dream. I'm real good. I'll bring everyone else back on just so we know who's pulling the levers here.
That wasn't much of a chat. I thought we were going to go deep, mate.
It wasn't a chat. It was a power play, not a chat.
That was us Unwrecked taking his dick out and just slapping us across the face with his dick.
Slapping you guys across the face with the dick.
Pee.
Not slapping me across the face. Hear about that.
Did you just remove him?
I ain't too shit. I ain't doing it. He's doing everything, mate. I'm not
he just wrecked himself. He just rugged himself, did he? I'm done.
No, mate. I'm just watching. I'm just keeping an eye on yous rat bags, eh?
Good.
As
so Ed, you just message Richard directly at t.me/Richard Hart, and he might get back to you. And if he doesn't, like, why don't you come on our show? We haven't had people from like other countries on for a while, have we? Like, we had that Kenyan guy on. That was pretty cool. And we used to do a few more interviews.
Yeah, I think there's just so much going on. It's everyone's got their own channels these days. It's
pretty hectic. I just saw the Maxi premium just dropped below 1.5.
Ooh,
called it.
1.47.
So so you're saying that's a buy?
That's
when
a buy.
It drops that low?
Not yet. Not yet. Yeah, you guys remember when it got up to 1.5? I was saying that was insane.
Yeah. You were saying that's a sell.
I was calling 1.5.
You were saying that's a sell.
Yeah.
Now it's like down to 1.5. People are
now
like,
it's just back to where it's just back to insane. Like when it was at 1.8, it was like even more insane.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
But remember how I said I would basically be scaling out all the way up to 2.0, like sort of around there would be thing. Like if you imagine what, based on what I said, someone scaling out all the way up towards 2 and being almost completely out at 1.9, 2.0, then that person, someone who followed that strategy, would be pretty happy right now and like be able to
tangent.
It kind of makes sense to provide liquidity if you're going to do it between like just below 1.5 and then up to like 1.9 or something like that. And then it seems like that's the range that it's going to go in. And if you put your liquidity there, if it goes up to 1.9, you basically have sold it all for Hex. And if it goes down to just below 1.5, you're stocked up on Maxi.
Yeah,
that's if you're doing the Hex Maxi pair.
The part of that I'll agree with is that if someone was to go away and assess the range that they believe that it's going to fluctuate within in terms of premium and discount, then that would be the limits that you would set for where you put your liquidity. So as it fluctuates through that range, you're just basically printing money without having to actually sit there and look at charts. It does it for you. It buys and sells.
Yeah. And it's DCing you out or in, depending on which way the price goes.
Yep.
Now, speaking of charts, guys, given recent events and the current price of Bitcoin, of Hex, of Ethereum, where are we on this chart? Where are we right now, in your opinion? Let's start. Sammy, what do you reckon?
I'm just trying to screenshot so I can read it because it's too small. We're not at the bottom yet. We haven't hit the bottom yet. So we're like, so we've hit the top. Hang on, let me have a look. We are. Gotta take forever. All right. I still can't freaking read it. Anyway, we're not at the bottom yet. So we're probably halfway down that yellow line. Or
So
maybe
like either anxiety or denial.
Yeah, denial. Yeah, denial. Because people are just like seeing Bitcoin and dump and they're just going, what the so we still got a long way to go, I think.
So that's you're saying like the market as a whole, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the market as a whole, you think we're in denial? Jexa, what do you reckon? Like, you can give an answer for the market as a whole or for
Hex. Yeah. Well, if I was going off of crypto Twitter, I would say anger.
Me too.
It depends if you're looking at the chart. Maybe not anger, but definitely on socials we seem to be there.
Pi excellence.
Yeah, mate. I'm with Jackson on that one. I reckon we've gone past panic and we're definitely into straight up anger.
Tangent.
Yeah, I agree with Sammy. It's like anxiety is where, like, in terms of if we're just looking at the shape of the chart, and I'm talking about Hex, that's the zone we're in. But you would hope that Hex would be more downside protected than requiring to go through. Yeah.
On looking at the chart, bounce between log and linear, or what's the opposite of log? Linear, is it? And see.
We don't actually know if this Wall Street cheat sheet is log or not. Do we?
I was just thinking that.
Doesn't
it looks
look like log.
linear, but
it looks linear.
200 viewers, 201 guys.
Nice. Well done, people.
Oh no,
well
actually,
done.
we're probably even lower than that. Oh no. The rest of the chart just loaded.
Blue,
yeah. If you go to linear, then we're already like down at the bottom again.
I think the general crypto market is probably in somewhere between anxiety and denial.
Mm-hmm.
That's like Bitcoin, and everything that follows that. And I think it's weird. I don't really relate to the emotions being in Hex, to these emotions. Like I don't feel anger. I don't feel capitulation or depression or anything like that, because I just don't give a shit. I'm just like I'm staked and I'm like earning
surely
every day.
you must have. You're not a bloody cyborg, though. You must have some. Yeah, you must have some feel for.
Yeah, I mean, just looking. I'm trying to like judge the mass human consensus, and looking at those. Look, if that is the psychological, path that we're taking, which I'm just a little bit not so sure of with Hex. It seems hard to disregard all the macro, and
I agree with you. But if you look inside yourself, like you're look deep inside within. But you've watched your portfolio get smashed. There's no doubt about that. I don't care what point in Hex you got in, whether you got at the top or you've seen your portfolio at the top. You look at it now; it's been fucking decimated. So you've got to have some feeling.
Absolutely fucked. Absolutely.
I mean, for me, it's it's not decimated that much, to be perfectly honest. Like compared to the GAINZ, compared to where I started.
This is so true. guys.
Yeah, that's
This
true.
is actually a really, really good point that you're making, Blue Bum, because if you are staked for 10 years, right? First of all, the price doesn't matter if you're staked 10 years out. Like if you've got most of your stakes out that far, it doesn't matter. But let's say most people have a staking ladder, right? I think most people, that's what they're trying to do, have a staking ladder. Even if you, if you think back a couple of years and think about how much accumulation there has been of hex in your wallets, or like in theory, when you mint, that's how much is going to be there. It makes up for a lot. It really does make up for a lot of this downside. I mean, think about how much hex you started with when you made your stakes, and think about how much hex is there now. It really does make up for a lot of it. It really makes up for a lot of it.
No, I totally agree. You've got to take that into account, but you can't not look at your portfolio and feel something.
No, yeah. I'm not saying you don't.
I'm with Jexter on this. Seeing paper like your paper wealth get absolutely fucking slashed is always like not fun, regardless of how you spin it to like do psychological copium shit. You know?
Yeah.
And
it
if
does.
you want to make
actually tangent, I disagree with you on that.
To.
I actually
I
do disagree with you on that tangent, because how you spin it in your mind completely matters of how you cope with it. Right?
Yeah.
The way you spin it to yourself, that's everything in life. How you spin it to yourself is how you cope with it.
I
If
totally
you're going
agree.
to cope it better or not. So
yeah. No, there's. I'm not saying that. I think you've got to. It's the people that hang tough through things like this that come out the other side, like you said, day 43, and the next cycle around, way better position because they didn't rage quit. So I totally agree with that. It's about your attitude and how you hang in there, and if it's bothering you, get out and do something different. Get your mind off the screen.
Guys, I think this is two different things. This is two different things. So I'm going to draw an analogy to like, so say you're seeing a chick and you're out in the club and there's something that like makes you jealous. There's the initial reaction, and then there's how you fucking take care of business. Yeah, there's how you handle yourself. So these are two different things. So I agree with Jexer that when you look, it's impossible to look at a loss of millions of dollars and not at least think, yeah, that's shit. But then there's how you conduct yourself, whether you let it impact your mental state, and that's a different aspect. So it can be both, right?
But hang on. If you're going to the club with a slut, that's what crypto's like. You've got to expect her to be like her picking up other guys, right? You can expect that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's what crypto's like.
Yeah.
You're going to the club with the slut, and some shit's going to go down. You got to expect it. You walk into the club, you know what. So
just for a bit of perspective.
But will it ever? Can you ever mentally prepare yourself for that? Like you're expecting that crypto can drop like 90%.
You should know that shit.
But when you walk into the toilets and you see her blowing someone else, is that you're still gonna be like, God damn it,
bro. Again. That's how you picked her up, in the first one.
Wait. This all comes down to one saying that suits both of these analogies. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Fair call.
And if I can make you feel a little bit better, even Vitalik is no longer a billionaire.
What?
Yeah, so
what the shit?
Yeah.
Surely not.
So Vitalik's poorer than all of us.
Well, it goes down in magnitudes more because of it.
I haven't been on Hex as long as you guys. I don't know if I can claim that.
I need to put my wealth on a log scale.
So the way I look at it is that, like, I started off with such a small amount, and now I'm positioned in a bear at a much better level. So when the next one takes off, it's going to be ridiculous.
That's
not everyone's like
really
that.
Good
not
way
everyone's
of
in that
it.
same position though, man. Not everyone.
I like the way you said ridiculous. Then You really articulated that ridiculous.
Wait, by the way, I just want to clarify something.
Schadenfreude. Go over and have a look at Hex Rec Plebs in there this week. Over on Rec Hex Plebs.
I missed that chat. I missed that chat so bad. Fuck. That's actually the thing I missed the most from not being on Telegram. That Rec Plebs chat was so awesome. Fuck. Wait, can I just clarify something? Just then when I said I need to put my wealth on a log scale, that was not.
Get over here, mate. What are you?
I was not implying that my wealth is so large that it needs a log scale. I'm talking about to cope with the paper loss, so that I can just shrink the paper loss using a log scale. That's what I meant. Just to clarify that. And the other thing I was going to comment about all of this is
Bitcoin OG from 2013.
Wait.
Yeah.
The other comment I wanted to make is that I think you can tell, like, this is something. This is a joke, but there might be some truth to this. When you look on Twitter and you see how people are behaving, I think it can give you a bit of an indication of whether they're still in the green or underwater. How they tweet about Richard and at Richard can kind of give you an idea of whether they're fucking underwater or not. Because the people that are underwater, the people that are still defending Richard, saying, "Yeah, we still love you, Richard. You're the fucking man," are probably in the green. The people that are like, "Fuck you, bro," are probably in the red.
There'd be plenty of people in the red now. That's only going to get better.
Boys and girls. We got any?
Is it past your bedtime, mate? Yes.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Yes, there is. Hang on a second.
I think I will be way off in the bitch tits. But...
Greatest crypto, the hex.com. The guessing game. I think we're all wrong this week because I'm all
a sheep to a kangaroo, a clothesline out the back.
That's a knife. All I had was me undies on.
Sammy.
So, Hexagon of the week is Togoshi Gekata. He's one of the guys doing tons for Hex behind the scenes, getting donations for postcards, all about Hex that he's sending out all over USA and I think even going to Europe soon too, about 33 to 48 cents. Do we have a picture? 43?
Do we have a picture? Did you?
Yeah. I've got a whole lot of information. Togoshi is amazing. I actually met him in Las Vegas. He's a really lovely guy, and he's one of those dudes that's been doing tons in the background for Hex.
Do you have any anything we can show up on the screen?
Yeah, let me just.
And he's having.
Did you send me something?
I
did.
I sent you one. 43, and he's having a Hex postcard design contest. First place $400, second place $200, and third place $100. So he is at.
So, okay, if you want to, here's some info. I'm going to put it in our chat. He started hexstreamers.com. So that the thing on
sick
Twitter that announces everyone is streaming. That's him.
I'm listening.
He's also behind hexradio.app. Which is now pulseradio.app since it got terminated by YouTube. He's also behind Hex Daily Stats.
Damn.com.
He's also behind another website which is in development, which is CSV files of all stake data, which is hexdatadump.com. He says all my code is public and open source. Anyone can add to it or copy it and do their own thing. And his latest thing, I don't know if you've seen, but he basically got a whole lot of postcards designed and sent them out to the richest postcodes in the States.
Was that
if you go to t.me/hex advertising, you can find out more about that. And like you can actually print the postcards yourself and send them out yourself. You could also donate to if you want more postcards sent out in the States or in Europe or whatever like that. And so Hexto, he's been awesome, and he's been one
So
of those unacknowledged,
that is
hard,
inspirational.
full-on hard
That's
workers
awesome.
in
This
behind the
motherfucker's
scenes.
putting work in. If everyone was putting in as much work as this guy, Hex would already be like at $1.40 or like $14 or whatever.
Yeah.
That is serious shit. So while everyone else is complaining about nonsense, this motherfucker's putting work in. Like learn from this guy. Be like this guy. What was his name again? What was his handle?
Hex Tosh.
Hang on, I'll put it in the chat.
Togosh.
Follow
This motherfucker. On Twitter, it's on Twitter. It's at Togoshi Jakarta.
Support the people that are putting in work for your bag.
Yeah.
Follow
this chap.
Follow
this guy, please, on Twitter.
Yeah.
At
donate.
Dude, that is epic. That list was phenomenal.
Yeah.
In the chat.
Okay, cool.
That was good.
Yeah.
Legend. Good stuff. Hexagon of the week.
He's an absolute legend. Legend. And so like if you do want to, if you've made some gains and you want to put back into the community, a really simple way to do it is just to donate to his thing, where the more money they get, the more of these cards they send out. Or if you want to do it in Australia, or if you want to do it yourself, you just like print out the cards and do it. It's all open source, free, just a fantastic resource.
Now, Jexa, have you got?
Yeah, we're all ready to roll on this end.
All ready to roll?
There we go. Yep.
Excellent.
Back-to-back segments. Let's do it. Yeah, you're not going to believe it, guys. This dude is a legend. He's done it again. I don't know how. He is the oracle.
Wow.
Ash.
8.2.
Dozer wasn't too far behind.
Wow.
I was close.
Have you guys been keeping count? Because I think Dozer's still in the lead.
Oh, I don't know.
Have you kept count of how many times?
No, I haven't.
Now we know why.
I'm sure Ash knows. He's all over the numbers.
Well, if you guys didn't keep count, then I'm calling it that Dozer is still in the lead.
Ooh. I might have to go back and check them all and do a spreadsheet, but Ash would definitely be up there, if not me. Yeah.
There's only 102 episodes, mate. There's only
hang on, Dozer. Now that we've got you on, what's the secret to your success with predicting the prices?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I just follow like linear regressions more than anything, and just sort of try and follow trend lines and things like that, and then just look at support levels. So like on the daily support, things like that.
Tangent is so happy. So you're a TA nerd as well then, and that's how you do it.
Yeah, so I learned pretty much a lot of my TA from Tangent. So it's just maybe he's like hyper bullish. So he just goes, it's going to be like 70 cents. And I'm like, no, that doesn't sound likely.
So you just basically do the exact opposite of what Tangent says.
Yeah. Oh, no, I look at
no. I think what he's saying. I think what he's saying is that he takes the parts that I say that are technically correct, but then just applies them better than I do.
Well, I'm not sure that Tangent is ever trying to win, or if he's just like trying to get the hype man is like.
Yeah, let's be clear. When I draw arrows that go like to over $1 or to like $1 million, that is obviously for comic purpose. Like I don't. But yeah, well done.
There is a correlation.
There
is a.
Hang on, is there confusion? We've got Ash and Ash Tree. Is that? Have I?
Then I would be even more correct if those wins have been actually distributed across two different accounts.
Two different
then Dozer is definitely in the lead.
Let's have another look. Let's have another look here. It's
definitely Ash Tree, but
wait, I see two Ash Trees there. Is this motherfucker putting in multiple guesses?
No, because this was a double whammy.
Okay. All right,
we've got to have a chat about the
all right. I'll put the baseball bat down. It's cool.
Yeah,
cool.
You're going hard trying to defend your boy.
Respect. I appreciate that.
Unwrecked, get the knives
wanna
out.
know, people,
Get the
you're-
fucking knife.
All right, so this was a double header where we had to have a look at.
Jeez.
People want to know why
pick the-
chicks dig me. It's because I wear coloured underwear. So there you go. There's a correlation there, isn't it, between all that?
Possibly.
Hang on. Who wants to know why chicks dig again? Who wants to know that?
Was there a machete?
All the audience
Oh,
and
okay.
you fellas do.
Audience, yeah.
That's not enough. Unwrecked's got
Yeah,
enough.
that's not enough.
This is
That's
enough.
enough.
That's enough.
That's enough.
Big time.
So
And we're
just
banned.
circling back to this week was supposed to be. We're going to give out a shirt to the person that picked the launch date. We're going to have to hold back on that.
Ooh.
Oh, true.
So we've still got a few people in the
Still don't
running.
have the
mate.
shirts. That's why,
I
mate.
think I was
Anyone that put
in the
May is
bag.
obviously.
I want to say
so-
thanks
running out of
thanks
time.
to Francis Bautista for the super chat.
Oh yeah.
And he's saying, can you please check out Crafty Metaverse?
Crafty.
Crafty Metaverse.
shilling.
Literally released 20th of May. He's shilling. It's definitely a
Shilling.
shill. It's a gratuitous shill for $7.99.
He's knocking out a crafty one.
JFK for the super chat before.
Developers are doxed on the website, but for your information, CMC data is not accurate yet. Okay.
Yeah, we know about CMC data.
And
I
I
don't
think
know
that
what
was-
know
else
that
about
about it.
CMC data. It may
I
never
think that
be
was good
correct.
bang.
Suck my
buddy.
balls.
That was good bang for your buck there. Eight bucks
yeah.
for a good shill. That was that
Yeah.
was good value.
By the way, if there's any people thinking that I'm gonna just, I did that out of just, he donated something. I thought, okay, I'll read it. But if people start shilling stuff that I think I'm not going to shill stuff I don't know about on this stream. So just word of warning to anyone who's going to donate. We're not taking money for just putting your stuff out there.
Even better, man. Even better to warn people that if they use the super chat as a way to try and get to shill a project, we might shit on it. Like, you might be drawing negative attention. Like if we even know what it is. I've got no idea what this is. Oh, someone deleted the message. Yeah, look,
put him in time, bro, and put him in time out for 300
Stop being
seconds.
such a cunny cunt.
There you go.
That's what. Wait, that's what you get when your super
This is
chat
a very
is that low.
financial show, this one.
You get your
Come
shit
on.
deleted
bro.
and put on timeout. Let that be a lesson to the rest of y'all.
We need
need to up your game.
799 AUD for a shill like that, bro.
Yeah, you best be moving. You best be
We'd
moving
have
that
taken
decimal
$8.
place.
Yeah,
taken
$8 would have
$8,
done it
yeah.
probably.
But
We've
why
got a
seven?
prize.
Hang on,
Actually,
why would you? Can I just say, why would you donate $7.99?
I don't know.
That's a tactic for to make something look cheaper,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
$7.99.
exactly.
$7,
yes.
If
You're
you're
right.
making a
you're right.
donation, you're going to make it
Yeah,
$8. So
$8.
you're in the $8
Yeah.
They reckon one of the best marketing strategies ever was the 99-cent lollipop. It was like, it made it sound like it's still in the cents, but it's actually $1. Back when $1 was actually worth something.
I remember when the first ice cream in Australia came out, there was more than $1, and it was like a massive moment.
Outrage.
It was this big.
What was it?
Do you remember what it
hamburger.
was? Do you remember what it was?
drumstick?
There was a big. No, it was this big hamburger. It was like a ice
yeah.
cream sandwich hamburger, and it was the first time an ice cream was over $1.
Wasn't a gay time.
My favorite ice cream as a kid was the Bubble-O Bill, where you would get the
the bubble gum.
His nose was a piece of bubble gum.
Yeah,
Every now and then
that
you'd get
was mine.
stitched and you wouldn't get your bubble gum as well. And you'd be like, what's this shit?
Or it was old stock and the bubble gum was fucked. That would be
old,
really
yeah,
disappointing.
That was the norm.
Standard.
But normally when you're buying a Bubble-O Bill, it's from the server across the road from the kebab shop. So your standards at that time of night are pretty low.
Yeah.
So you're like, this is the best.
And you're a
ever.
kid.
Wait,
Oh no! Well,
Alan, there was a tweet that said,
Thanks,
Alan,
Ash, for the super chat.
Thanks for the super chats, but there was a tweet that said, I saw a guy walking down the Vegas Strip wearing a Luna t-shirt and a homeless guy gave him $1.
oh, that's harsh.
Fucking hell.
Oh my god.
So good.
That's fun.
Wait, seriously, one of the things that gets people through the bear markets is the memes. The meme,
True.
like seriously, memes in the bear market they'll get you through. They'll get you through.
Yeah, you got to
So
have a
don't-
laugh. Yeah.
Thanks for the super chat, Alan.
Have you seen that meme? Have you seen that meme where it's like this dude in a big like armor, like he's got a head kind of like old school, I don't know, what do you call them? The dudes in
Like the knights?
Yeah, the knights kind of thing. And there's an arrow going straight through into the slit of his eyes.
Oh, nasty.
And it's like, and the meme is a good meme. Because it's true, hey? It just hits straight to the, like it targets perfectly a good meme.
And it's also
and it
meta.
says so much.
It's
Yeah.
meta because it's a meme about a meme. Sammy!
She's
You're
back.
back.
Hey.
Big PP.
Big PP.
You go.
Sammy,
There
there was a comment earlier that said
Sex is a kill. You want to die happy?
it was like Sammy, do you like Red Bull cans or something or some shit? I can't remember what it said, but it was funny. Like it was
Yeah, I
something-
saw it. I was listening. My internet just cracked the shit, so now I'm joining from my phone. But I was listening to you guys talk about the bubblegum sticks. Yeah, they were awesome.
It was actually
I
one that was.
Magneto.
You guys are talking about different things because one had a nose that was bubblegum, and there was one with a stick that was bubblegum. And I think they were competing for the same.
I only had the one. It was a face shaped like a cowboy, and
Buffalo
the nose
Bill.
was a sphere of bubblegum.
Yeah, that's
Buffalo
the
Bill.
Buffalo
That's what I know.
Bill.
That's
My
the Buffalo
cousin
Bill.
got
What did I
one.
say? What did I say? I said
That was the one that you said. Yeah.
that was the one I said.
Yeah.
So what's this other one that I missed out on
I
my
remember.
childhood?
I remember because
I've never heard of
my
that one.
age is
Yeah.
in between because I'm the age-wise, I'm the bridge between Sammy and Tangent, right? So I was around for both of these, and I think that the stick one, it didn't quite work out properly. Like the stick one didn't quite. It
I'm the
wasn't. It was
senior.
the Buffalo Bill was like the better. Was the evolution?
Well, they
you know?
still sell Buffalo
Yeah,
Bills because my
mate.
kids eat them.
Buffalo, yeah, Buffalo Bill.
Buffalo
Buffalo.
Bill.
Was it Buffalo Bill?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably Bill. Yeah.
Buffalo
have a
Bill.
look at that.
That's it. That's it.
Stand by, viewers,
Man, that's
we'll
when they
find
used to
out.
have milk bars. Remember they used to have milk bars in Australia?
We
The
still
dairy.
got milk
Yeah.
bars. We haven't
At
been in
the-
my area.
No
They
milk
do come
bars in my
again.
area.
Oh my god, we got plenty. Old school.
Nowhere to be seen.
Bubble gum
Right.
bill. It is. It's bubble gum bill. I'm
There's,
just gonna
there's a
double confirm
cafe on every corner. There's just
Yeah.
cafes
The
everywhere
double
nowadays.
bubble. I was going to say something before when you're talking about day 43 that
that. Bubble
you're
bill.
talking about with the like the cycles of these markets, and it's like I almost feel like sometimes you have to at least go through one complete wrecked cycle before you can ever sort of take those, learn from those mistakes and do well. Like I'd be very surprised if anyone sort of does really well on their first cycle. So for some of the people out there that have sort of thinking that, that
Yeah, I
everything's going down, Bitcoin's
Nailed
going
it first one
down.
up the prom
It's
queen
like-
and just bang.
Yep.
Yeah. And
That's a good
hard to
point.
know.
I think I agree with that. I think
Yep.
for most people, like there is always
I was
outliers.
prosperous before.
There's always outliers out there who just happen to get in at the bottom and just make a shitload of money with no pain whatsoever.
A very lucky few, like a very fortunate minority. Like that is lotto win odds. If you're the dude who like bought $10 worth of Shiba and now you're like a multi-billionaire, like a multi-millionaire, you're in the same minority as people who win lotto. Most people have to go through at least one cycle to learn the lessons to make decent
Dollar
coin in the
cost
next
average.
cycle.
Yeah, exactly. Things
Dollar
like that.
costing in.
Yeah.
And it's hard to know as well, like there'd be some proportion of the chat and the audience, I guess, that would be just, OGs and things like that. And they're just like, nothing, there's not phasing them. But there might be some people out there that are sort of, have been wrecked by some of the furus and that out there. And it's like, now they're coming along and they're seeing Hex and they're seeing PLS and PLSX. It's like, So I think if they've found this stream, that I think they're on the right track for sure.
You know what I say to people now.
Hex is probably a good example of a disproportionately high number of like broke the statistics on that comment that I just made. Like I think Hex made a disproportionately high number of people very wealthy off a small investment. And it was typically people who saw Richard Hart in the early days when he was in his prime and went, this motherfucker is legit. I am going to at least throw a G or two at this project, and became multimillionaires off a tiny investment.
Bro,
So
what makes you say that? What
broke
makes
the
you
stats.
What makes you say that Richard Hart is not in his prime right now?
I think he's still
getting better.
He's
I think he's still growing into it.
Burnouts and Lambos.
He's only just
Ferraris.
starting. He's only just starting to grow into it.
He's
Bro,
learning.
I think
learning,
that he's
learning as
got,
well.
there are higher highs. I think there are higher heights.
So
I
it
think
depends.
bigger
It depends
things.
what you're talking about. I'm talking about in terms of people watching his shit and being like, I'm going to ride or die with this motherfucker. Those days he peaked back at just before he launched Hex. Those videos that he was making, those were the ultimate RH videos.
Do you think the people jumping? No, but the people jumping on the RH train, they were seeing through. They were intellectually like understanding the alignment of incentives and listening to the truth of what he was saying. They weren't just
only
jumping
Richard
onto
Hart
his
can grow the
bandwagon.
top. Only Richard Hart can call the top on the Richard Hart train. Only Richard Hart can.
I think he's the only.
Thank you, Richard Hart. You're a legend.
No, I think he's the only person that's unqualified to be able to make that call. It has to be from an external perspective. And so if you guys trust me as an OG perspective, in my like Bitcoin OG mindset, that Richard Hart back then won me over and got me into Hex. If he had been acting like how he is acting now, then I would have been like, fuck this nonsense.
Eat a dick. Yeah.
I want to hear hard facts. I want to hear truths about crypto. I don't want to see some dude doing burnouts in a fucking Lambo. Like that's
pretty
not.
cool though.
That's not. It's cool as fuck. It's cool as fuck. It's cool.
But
as
you can
fuck.
do both. It's not a choice. It's
I know what you're
it's not
saying.
a choice either or. Like he
Yeah.
still spits out knowledge, not as much as he maybe did back in the day because there was so much more
busy man.
knowledge to uncover back in the day.
Hmm.
You know what I
It
mean?
doesn't.
And he
Yeah,
said
that's
so
a
much
good
of it
point.
already.
punch through as hard as this stuff. This stuff punches through harder. Man, the proof's in the pudding. We're gonna know in like a year.
Look at the chart.
We're gonna know whether this
Actually,
stuff.
don't.
We
has
already
worked or
know.
not.
You can already look at the metrics. He's pumping
guess-
more
No,
metrics.
no. But hang on, Bluey. What I'm saying is we're gonna know in a manner that matters to us more than like all of the other shit, which is fucking price go up. Like that. Do you know what I mean?
But also going back to like what Dorsey was saying, where it's like there are people who have gotten in since September last year when the all-time high was, and so there are people still down on their bags who are sitting in Hex. Yeah, okay,
bro.
So
the adoption went parabolic because the price was going up. So more people got in that sector than people that got in before that sector. So a lot of people are underwater.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. But you can't just reverse a wider market trend just by snapping your fingers. You need.
Can I just say what I tell
buy
people
and
now?
sell.
Like people who are just hearing about Hex now, who I'm explaining it to now, who I'm onboarding and I'm telling them about it. They're asking me, how do I get in? What's the thing? They're not like I basically say, have enough money in your life to do what you want to be doing. Everything you chuck into this is long-term savings. You don't want to ever be in the position where you have to sell. This is like anyone who's been in crypto for longer than 4 years, who's held on for longer than 4 years, has made money off that. Pretty much on nearly any crypto.
Yes.
So like, look at it as long-term savings that you're not going to touch it for at least 4 years.
Yo.
Thanks for the super chat.
Step one is long-term conviction in the crypto space. If you're not there yet, you need to fucking get there because that is important. You're absolutely right. You want
your security as well. Getting your security right at the start.
Yeah, and that's what I give the big speech on as well. Yeah. Security and don't it's long-term. have enough money in your life so that you can live. Don't be dependent on these outcomes to, if it happens and you're not getting a nice little surprise, awesome. And you're going to have to readjust how you,
But why can we speak to the
live,
people out there just before we wind up? Maybe why are we talking about Hex? Why is this the Hex Late Show? What is it about Hex and the Hex contract that we like, particularly? Bluey, do you want to?
Oh yeah, it's really
long,
simply. It's a long list, but basically because it has no admin keys, no one can ever change it. It's completely immutable. The rules are set in stone, and those rules they incentivize people to stake for really long periods of time. As those people stake, they're taking it out of the supply, less supply, and if the demand remains equal or goes up because of network effect, price goes up. That's what's happened. That's, if you zoom out, that's what's happened, and that's what's going to probably continue to happen in the long term. But there's obviously short-term dips.
Well put. Nice, yeah, in the context of volatility, there's always volatility in crypto. We know. Yep.
Yeah, that was Bluey. That was awesome.
Double your coins. Yeah.
So there's Hex, and which is a Richard Hart finished product. It's that contract on the Ethereum blockchain. Now Richard Hart is also coming out with PulseChain. Who wants to give us a quick rundown of what PulseChain is?
I want to hear Unrec's Hex pitch, because he's always the best at keeping it real about Hex. Unrec is the most like hardcore Hex dedicated.
It's special. It's the 100% time.
And he's frozen.
You in the code, you earn rewards. There you go. Average pays out 38% APY on it. Am I cutting out, am I? I've got a bash. I'll leave you to it.
Go again.
Before Unrec got cut, he said the most important thing is the 100% uptime.
100% uptime, yeah.
My
big
internet's
deal.
cutting out.
Software with 100% uptime. There's not much of it around. And Hex is software. It's been running flawlessly for 2.5 years, and 100% uptime. Yep. So PulseChain. Someone want to give us a quick rundown, Jexer?
Quick rundown on PulseChain. So it hasn't launched yet, but it's essentially a copy of Ethereum, but with a few tweaks that fix some of Ethereum's current issues, that being bottlenecks with transactions. So we can make our transactions cheaper, which is a good thing. And it also works a little bit faster, about 3 or 4 times faster. So that gives us a bit of capacity to grow. If you haven't got hold of Pulse yet, you're going to have to be a little bit patient. It's launching in 2 weeks' time. No, you may have to be a little bit patient. It's a brand new chain. There's a few things to be built out, and then it'll be ready to launch. But once it's ready, and like we said, we like 100% uptime. We would like this new chain to launch and stay up. So we've got to be patient. But once it does launch, you're basically going to be at a point in the market when we're probably at one of the lowest points in the market, maybe now or soon, in terms of being in a bear market. You're going to be hopping onto a brand new chain, which is launching at the lowest price it will probably ever see once it gets rolling. So it's like having a chance to buy Ethereum when it first launched. That's the position you're going to be in. There's a massive community that comes from the Hex and others from the rest of the crypto community as well that will be coming across to play on this new chain. So it's going to have a lot of adoption. It's not going to be a ghost chain like many of the others out there. So cool. This could be a chance to do what you've watched other people do in Hex in terms of getting in early, being at the right point in time with the market and a product and a community to see this thing really rally up hard. No
Richard
promises,
even-
no
Richard
expectations.
Richard even tweeted out something about a few things that are going to be even better than you see that tweet where he's like the devs are doing this shit where it's like this shit's going to make it like even better, even faster, more than what they even expected. So it's like it's even better. Like at the moment, it's now even better than what it was expected to be by Richard himself. So
they're doing it in different code. They're using a different code.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's just the validator.
They isolated.
That's the validator.
Yes.
That's the validator slashing.
They took that so that rather than having it in Solidity, they have it in a more robust programming language. Yeah. Well done.
Yeah,
good memory, guys.
Stock standard.
There could be other things that happen.
Oh, sorry, Pyrex, go on.
Sorry, mate. I was just going to say there could be other things as well, like people could end up building on like using HSI stakes and things like that in the future. I've heard people talk about that sort of stuff, and some of these things like Maxi, we didn't even really think were going to come about or eventuate, and then they have. So there's still
just quietly on Maxi, the guy Dipcatcher has other ideas cooking away
big time
that he's been
shit.
He has actually put out a request. If anyone's interested in being part of the Maxi team, he's put out a request on Twitter as well.
Shit.
We've seen a couple of guys put their hand up
for the super chat.
Another super chat.
$5.50.
Pablo Guy's a legend. He is so funny.
He finally gave in and claimed. I don't see.
Is there
finally gave in and claimed.
It takes to the network tank.
Like, is there any guidance on what they're actually looking for? Do they want like marketing people or devs, or like is it just anyone who's keen, just hit them up, or what? Like,
you'd have to have a chat to them. I'm sure they're after specific skills, but
look good in the bikini.
Yeah.
Mankini.
Shit like
one thing I found. One thing I just
mind if I feel them.
Just quickly, one thing I found, like when I was listening to the Twitter space of between Hedron and Fiat and blah blah blah, and people were really talking about what Richard should do. He should do it this way or should do that, and all the other commentary about what Richard should do. Blah 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 blah. It's like fucking forget about what Richard's doing. Go and do something yourself.
Yeah.
Like look, take Togoshi as an example. Like if you want to, this is where we are in a decentralized autonomous organization. Hex is the true decentralized autonomous organization. And if you want something done, go out there and do it yourself. Yeah. Don't just sit back and like hope that other people do shit for you. Get involved.
I realized recently I'm guilty of that shit. So like when I hear anyone talking about like celebrities or royalty or like any motherfucker, I'm like, fuck all that noise. I don't care about this shit. It's not a part, like it's not relevant to my shit. But for some reason in crypto, I will talk about other people that are in the crypto space who are famous. And I'm like, you know what? I need to get out of this habit. Like, fuck all that. Like, we need to do what you're saying. Like, just.
But you are doing that tangent. And like,
I try. But I also do get sucked into that whole like, oh, Richard this, Richard that. Like, you know what I mean? So it's.
But you're bringing attention by doing funny streams and like. And the other thing is that, like everyone is going to have their own role. Like some people are going to be like want to be in the background like Togoshi and just be doing tons of work in the background. Other people are going to want to be like us where we just hop on once a week or we up or on Twitter or we in chats or whatever, like or out in the world telling people about it. Everyone has their own specific kind of role.
Yeah,
and as long as you're giving energy and being true to yourself, you're doing enough. That's all you need to do. You don't have to like go and learn how to be an editor.
That is a big anomaly.
If you don't want to.
Like, when you look at the Hex community in the crypto space, the anomaly is that, people get involved in the community and start doing stuff. No one makes anyone do any of it. Right. We all just have done it, gotten involved. And if you guys are, listening to this, and feel like you want to get involved in something, then get involved. Like, just do it. Like, just go out and do it. Start talking to your friends and do something. Like Par Excellence started streaming.
And have fun doing it. It's really important. It's really important that you're having fun and that you're enjoying and leading your best life. and that
Yeah.
will be contagious.
Yeah, I think you guys sort of inspired me. I mean, I've heard 43 OG say that plenty of times, and I remember Funding Jim as well. It was always talking about that and sort of saying, everyone's got their own interests and things like that. So you might be surprised what other people might also be interested. You might represent another part of the community that you don't even realize. Like some people just might be fully into cars or whatever. And then you sort of think, well, there's sort of a niche there that no one is doing. So yeah, but thanks anyway for encouraging me, 43 OG, for sure. And I think all of you guys have, so thanks.
I'm glad you did, mate.
I think the highest of stakes movie, the doco, is going to really hit home on what Blue Bum's talking about. That this is we're part of a story that is going to be an epic tale, no matter what happens. You know what I mean? And I think when that doco comes out, it's going to really consolidate in people's minds. Like, holy shit, what's going on here is large.
Do you know what? Can I just throw this out there? I don't like, I don't think like I can't speak for anyone else, but belong in the documentary. But wouldn't it be cool if at some point there's just some like one when they do one of those montages of all the street, like they could just do this massive montage of all the streamers and just do this and just like have like a one frame of every single like stream that happened. Like there'd be so many. Think of how many frames there'd be, because there were shitloads of streamers. Yeah, and it would just straight, and then you could just like in 20 years time, you could just like freeze frame that, like let your grandkids see this shit. This was me when.
Yeah,
this is when I had hair.
This week I was talking to a friend who owns a website that sells chess related.
Sorry,
why is that funny?
Sorry. No, sorry. Because I'm like, everyone's got a website, but you hadn't finished your sentence. I thought you were like, my friend owns a website.
That's flex.
I know someone. Full flex. He's got a website. So he actually bought it, right? And it sells chess products. That's the business, right?
That's niche.
And soon after he bought it, so yeah, very niche, and he makes apparently quite some good money on it. Damn. And soon after he bought it, of this,
there was
a
bear market
movie
in chess.
There was some movie that came out.
Queen's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit came out.
It's a TV series. It's really good. It's fucking good. It's fucking great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's fucking great.
As soon as that came out, his sales just 4x'd.
Of course they did. Of course they did.
Yeah.
Because that TV show glorifies chess like it's some galaxy brain shit. Like it
is. I was spewing about that because the Queen's Gambit was something that I used to use and as an opening move, and then it became popular, and I was like, now everyone knows my opening move. like shit.
Hey guys, unless anyone else has something to discuss, I think we should wind it up. We've had a good run.
We've got plenty to discuss. No, I'm kidding.
So we put predictions in. We should put predictions in for next week.
I've already done it.
Oh yeah, guys. Go to www.titbit.ch. I'll pop that in the chat.
So Dorsey, what do you reckon? Is it going to be bullish or
it's
bearish
Dozer.
This next week? Sorry, Dozer.
But
sorry,
close.
What do you reckon?
They both sound like good Australian nicknames.
Sorry, yeah. There is a Dorsey for sure, and he's floating
different
around. But yeah, Dozer.
Oh, okay. So Dozer, right? Yeah, Dozer.
Yeah, that's cool. Am I bullish or bearish? Unfortunately, I tend to just look at the moving averages and things like that, and unless there's
now he's dropped the secret. Everyone's going to be doing that.
So, well, if I mean, I can have a quick squeeze, but I'm going to take a wild guess and say that
Don't tell people which moving average though. Keep that one to
Downtrend.
yourself.
We're in a downtrend.
Yeah, we're in a
We are.
downtrend. So I was just saying, like, you know, if the 10-day moving average is below the 20-day and things like that, then you can sort of just extrapolate like how much of a downtrend and then look at the support. But I think 6.5 cents is a good support. But I think maybe people are going to start to FOMO in as well. Like if they think it's going to be early June, we might see some FOMO pumps. So
do you think we'll still get the FOMO pump?
Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Because we've sort of been wrong about a few of these things where, like, during the sacrifice phase, like the first PLS sacrifice phase, I thought that we would just be sort of steadily increasing the whole way. And then, of course, it started actually going down after the rate kicked in. So I had always thought that the hex price would sort of moon to say, well, maybe not moon, but like it got up to like say 30 cents or something like that before the fork. And then, you know, you could speculate as to what might happen in terms of the P hex and E hex sides. But yeah, it's been down for so long. I think I'm not sure that there's going to be the big dip that everyone thought was going to happen if you know, once the fork goes in, people get their coins on PulseChain, then they might try and sell on the ETH side. I think the price is so low now. Yeah, that maybe that narrative is sort of not as big as it was. But yeah, I think once we get some concrete details, maybe about like a time frame that we like, if he says that, you know, testnet v3 is coming out on June 3rd or whatever, then you might be like, okay, it might be a couple of days after that. And then you might see a bit of a run up. So it sort of depends on what RH does, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, I think pretty rough time across all the markets. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's going to be,
and that's the thing.
I don't think it's going to play out like we all expected. That's for sure.
Because Bitcoin is what 29.3 or something like that, and so that's one of its supports is like 29,000. So if that goes down, I think the next one is like 20K. So
so yeah, I was just So I've seen that comment in chat, and it is everything's sentiment driven, and it can spin on a dime, and you can get a big V-shaped rip up as well. So
yeah, and it only really matters if you're selling. So it's kind of arbitrary anyway. I mean, I don't think you shouldn't really be thinking about selling this close to the fork anyway. So the price is kind of irrelevant, except for if it's going down, it's an opportunity to sort of get more hex per dollar and hence more, hex on PulseChain per dollar as well. And then you can think about the amplification of swapping that, P hex for PLS post fork, but before the bridge. There's a few sort of still a lot of strategies and fundamentals that you could, speculate on.
Okay, guys, we're going to wind it up now. Last words, Jexer.
This could be the perfect storm, so don't sleep on it. There's a lot of things that are happening right at this point in time, and the one thing everyone does is they look back in time and say, I wish I had done this. I wish I had brought this. So pay attention. This could be one of those times.
Hex is, I have no qualms in saying, in my opinion, Hex is cheap at the moment. Hex is really, really cheap. Okay. And T shares are super, super cheap. And they're your money maker. Louis, last words?
Yeah, if you're thinking about getting in right now, it's a fantastic time to get in, dollar cost average in. Leave some on the side if it goes down even lower, but this is a great price. If you got in like since the all-time high and you're down at the moment, stay strong, let time be on your side, kick back and earn the interest. You get double on the fork, and your time spent will be rewarded eventually.
Tangent.
At the risk of sounding like Rackham, I've got close friends that are medium wealthy who I convinced they didn't get into the sacrifice phase for Pulse, but I convinced them that Pulse was a sick investment. And they've been hounding me like, when. And when I told them like, look, it's almost certainly going to be this month. And when it didn't happen this month, they went and bought other crypto. They were holding their fiat to come into Pulse large, and now they are gone. Like we've lost them to other cryptos. So like this is not a criticism, but I was devastated by that. So that's just happened. They're like, fuck this, we're just gonna buy other shit. Like so. But
were they Saudi though? That's the thing.
No, they were actually Perth-based, baby. Perth-based. They were not sheets.
Bro, but they're just gonna buy. They'll end up
what
buying
do they buy?
I was just disappointed. I don't want to say what they bought because it wasn't Hex and it wasn't.
Hopefully not Luna.
It was just disappointing to me because they, like, yeah.
They went all in on USDC.
It was. It was just disappointing to me because that, like, just their frustration. Like, so.
When did they do that?
Like this week.
This week.
Before
or after
FOMO in.
Before or after
so
the WA
not,
gave the election to Labor.
They're not let's not go there. They don't use Twitter. So they had to find out from me that Richard had tweeted out that it wasn't going to happen this month. And so it was at the point where I told them, like, look, it's not going to be this month. They were like out.
So it surprises me that people would think that be that short-sighted. But anyway,
Tangent. You know what? Do you know what I think? I think it's like, oh well.
That would have been selling
the error of their ways.
That would have been selling on a 2x.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah. I'm sure they'll regret. I'm sure they'll regret it in future. But like
with that mentality,
it'll be a regret of mine as well.
Way too early on anything, basically.
Yeah, but and you can't. I would not. I don't want to onboard two more of Tangent's friends. Just like I don't want to get Pulse out there quicker. Just to onboard two of your friends and then have some critical flaw.
It wasn't just two of my friends, but the point is that, like, I think in this shit, like, because we're all team Richard Hart, right? Like we know that's the way to win is to like get on his team. And the problem is that I don't want to keep getting orders of magnitude more wealthy than my friends. I want them on the same train so that you get what I'm saying? Like, I want them on the same team. I want them on that train.
Yeah.
So this is a loss to me, and that this has occurred because I don't want to be. I don't want to give them an "I told you so" in like 6 months, 18 months.
You got to, bro. You got to
dunk them.
You have to dunk them so
hard.
It won't even need to be said though. Like, as in,
no, it won't need to be said. They'll know. It's exactly.
Just show them the PLS chart.
Just get them in, Tangent. Just tell them again they got to get in once it launches. Simple. Buy a bag.
Bridget. Sell that stuff.
I'll see what I can do.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, good point, Sammy. I will try my best.
How good are these friends? Are they really good or just like?
Yeah. These are some of my closest friends.
Yeah. Okay.
Like virtually no coiners. Virtually.
Man, they fucked up.
Just buy a couple of HSIs. Yeah.
Sammy,
wait, sorry. You just reminded me.
By the way, we are on last words, guys.
When do these HSI stakes? When can I bid for these HSI stakes? I want in. I want in on this.
Yeah, it's in like it's either 3 or 4 days. I can't remember the exact
good
time.
Can you message me, Bluebum? Can you DM me about it on Twitter?
Yeah.
Just to give me the lowdown on like what I need to do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty simple. Thanks. You just go to the Hedron DApp. There's like a liquidations. You see which ones are being liquidated. You then, if it's up for liquidation, you can either just pay that in Hedron to liquidate it, and then it goes into a 24-hour auction. You can bid on ones that are already in the 24-hour auction.
Oh, I found it. All good. So browse liquidations. Found it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sammy, last words.
So hey, thanks for watching, everyone. Good to see you all. Good to see all you guys. Thanks for having me. Nice to meet you. Excellent. Follow me on Twitter.
Nice to meet you.
Sammy Chica. My name's not really Big PP, so don't look for that on Twitter. And ladies, Discourse is coming on Australian time Saturday, US time Friday night, 5 p.m. And Dingo Wolf, I love you, and thanks for all your love on Twitter. All right.
Par excellence. Have you done last words?
Yeah, that's cool. I pretty much did my thing, but I would say just check out Claz's channel. That's my wife, Claz, on TikTok. I think they do a couple of streams every now and then, but I'm just on Twitter as Par Excellence.
Unrex Pirate, the man, the myth.
You're muted, mate.
You're muted. Yes.
Still mute.
No. Can't hear you.
You taking the piss now?
He's, you know what, Unrect, you are so interesting as a character. He's just like silence. Your timing is impeccable. He's just a natural clown.
Bluey, these things are taking ages to load up. Is that normal?
Yes. Yeah, it does take a long time to load up. You're going to have to wait a bit. It's connected to the blockchain.
Can't hear you.
And he's coming out with V2. Alex is actually working on a version 2 of the DApp.
Nice.
And so a lot of awesome shit's going to be coming out with that. But
while we're waiting for Unrex to
wait.
sort his audio, I'm just letting you motherfuckers know I'm going to be out there bidding. So if you think you're going to get one of these undervalued stakes, think again.
You and David Feeder. You're going against David Feeder. You know that, right?
I might throw my hat in the ring.
All right. You know what?
OG43 coming in with a big
I'll back off. I really like David. He's a fucking G.
He is a legend.
I miss that guy. Like we used to do. He's on. Yeah. Anyway,
I'm going to go in and bid. I don't give a fuck who it is, man. That's what the whole purpose of it is. You bid.
Well, hopefully our time zones will help us.
No.
I'll bring this down. Can you hear me now?
You know what? There's also something there's something to be said about winning that first HSI up for auction. Like that's going to be an historical moment, and you'll have evidence of it on chain.
Well, off you go, Bluey. Hey, look. Thanks everyone for watching. We hope you all have a wonderful. Hope you're doing wonderfully out there in YouTube land. And look, I'll just say final words. There's no connection between the Hex price and the fact that chicks love my coloured underwear. All right. Thanks, everyone. Well, good night. You want to wind it up?
So, I'll wind it up in a set. I just want to thank everyone in the chat. You guys are awesome. You guys are why we come back every single week, because if you guys aren't watching and listening to us here, we probably wouldn't do it. So thanks for coming here.
Absolutely.
Thanks for interacting, putting your messages. We thank you for your super chats, and we thank you
support.
for your messages. And we talked about Hex. We talked about PulseChain. The only other thing that we didn't say, and I'm going to do a really quick spiel, PulseX is going to be the biggest, pretty much the biggest liquidity that exists on any blockchain in my, like, what I think is going to happen, because it's going to be drawing liquidity from all these other automated market makers, decentralized exchanges, and it's going to be putting it all into PulseX. I won't go into the details of what's going to happen, but that's going to be on PulseChain, and it's worth having a look at in due course when PulseChain does come out, which is happening soon. I can't tell you a date, but it's happening soon. Thank you all. We'll see you next time. All right. Peace.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Thanks, mate. Thanks for coming on.